This is the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. This week, we visit Dantooine on the public test server, and we talk about what we're seeing so far. This broadcast astromech is EPC 290, and playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey Max, it's going pretty well. Recording on a Tuesday night this week, so we just finished MFN. So good night, Marcus. Um, and we had an easy night of running around, killing things. And I said, literally running around because when we did the ILS, we did the running in a circle method, which worked really nice. We did an 8-man ILS, which we haven't done in a long time, and it was substantially easier.
It
I just guess
was.
there's easy made things. Um, but yeah, it went really smooth. And then we uh, ran around killing things in the black hole and in the Rackle tunnels. And I think everyone got their personal targets, or very close at least, because a bunch of people were changing out characters. But anyways, a nice relaxed night. We did for once have Plug DJ running, so we had some social music going on there. So that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't done that in a while. That was fun to have that spun back up.
I kind of took a week off from OSIS because not there's no because I just didn't feel like didn't feel like I guess there is kind of a because I feel like um it's almost uh I don't want to say not worth it to do because there's many reasons for doing activities other than just the gear you can get for them.
No,
But
it's only for the rewards.
yes. Um but so I took a break from the dailies of OSIS this week, and I did some leveling and other unrelated stuff and conquest. But I'll get back into OSIS probably this week. And how about you, Max? How was your week?
Mine was pretty good. I did not take a break from OSIS, and as a result, on my this is the PTS, so I can't show it on here, and I can't read all my stats. Unfortunately, I know that it's going to be a big bummer for everyone that I won't be reading my stats
Yes,
out loud.
especially for
But
me.
if I was reading my stats, they would read 258, 258, 258, 258, except for the weapon, main hand, offhand. But all 258. I've got all 258s now, so I did not bother again because for some of the same reasons I did not bother to upgrade all my augments. Uh, we'll see what's going to happen with augments. They may not have a new tier of augments, but you're right. I don't. We're not doing nightmare content. I don't need the top tier of augments. I've got all 258 mods in my gear. I'm relatively good balance between alacrity and crit. I don't. I'm not gonna sacrifice the credits that I could be gaining by selling those augments. I think that's mostly what it is with me.
Yes,
But I
I can see
then
that.
also started looking at what character might I do next. I do need more gear on my Vanguard and Power Tech, so I'll continue to do OSIS on those. But I started putting my Sork and Sage through OSIS, and might start getting some 258 gear on those. And if I do get a relatively good set of gear, I might get back into some PvP, which I haven't done in a while, and I do
Oh
prefer to
yeah.
do on my Sork. I still don't do ranked, but I do like doing. I do. So do.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
on a work call with this senior executive, one-on-one call, and she's talking about our global or North America business, yada yada yada, and she said do, and she paused, and I was like, yes, it's the 12-year-olds in us that cannot pass that up, can they? It was we both had quite a
Did
good laugh about that because she said doo doo. That cracked me up because she caught herself immediately, and I caught her catching herself. That was hilarious. So I just said doo doo, uh, but back on the 252 258 on my Vanguard. The other thing I was gonna say was I got the rest of the 258 filled out by using crystals. I had enough crystals to buy a couple of my pieces. I had two slots that weren't didn't even have 252 yet, so I did the one of them was a relic. I had whatever, I've got 6 relics of Primeval Fate Sealer, but no relics on my main character of Focus Retribution, which is what I needed. So I got one of those. I got the gloves. I didn't have gloves or whatever, and then I had enough crystals. So I worked that out in a spreadsheet. So that's what I recommend doing is figure out how many crystals you need.
Yeah.
Figure out how many crystals you
I'm
need to buy
afraid.
the 252 and upgrade everything
Yeah.
you have to 258.
I'm afraid to spend crystals on anything but upgrading because I'm
Right,
convinced that yeah, if I buy a 252 head and then upgrade it, then the head will drop.
right. And then the other trick, if you're doing it on multiple characters, is on your main, you're gonna need to upgrade your left side with crystals anyway, because
Yeah.
you can't,
Right, right,
that's
right.
not legacy bound.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and do that,
Yet.
but then save, try to upgrade these pieces with crystals off of an alt so that you're saving the crystals on your main and just starting with the ones that you have to spend crystals on to upgrade, etc. Does that make sense to everyone?
When you say an alt, you mean your mirror alt, right?
Right, right. So,
Yeah. Okay.
but well, I
Yeah.
was doing it with 3 characters. So I have 2 that I still would like to. My main on the Imperial side is my mercenary. My main on the Republic side is really my Vanguard. Even though I haven't been upgrading the gear and I've been focusing on the mercenary, I do play my commando relatively regularly, so I will upgrade and eventually get my commando to all 258 as well. But I'm less concerned about that because it's not. I mostly use my Vanguard. So I consider that an alt, and then I consider my other mercenary, as an alt also. So I was really interested in just spending all the crystals on that second mercenary because I don't care about that one at all, and I'm not going to spend crystals upgrading its left side. So spend those upgrading the pieces in the legacy gear. And my problem was I wasn't getting the right side drops on either of those other 2 characters.
Yeah, I
So that
know.
was a problem too.
I
So I
know.
have crystals left over on those other 2 characters because, and almost none now on my main because I couldn't spend them. I had nothing to spend them on. I was all stressed up and nowhere to go. But now it would be boring to read my stats because they're all 258. So that's how that goes. All right, so
Yes. All
let's
right.
that's all I've been doing. Let's talk about some news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
First up in the news, we mentioned it last week, but just a reminder that it has started this week and it's running for a week. It's the May the 4th sale, and it's running basically from yesterday to the 6th, so it's running for a week. 50% off all collection unlocks, 50% off all appearance options and appearance designer changes if you want to change your face. 40% off those stronghold decorations and 35% off all available amounts. Are you getting anything, Seema? Right.
I feel like I got all the unlocks last time we had an unlock
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
sale. However, I think I missed some, so I have to sit down and do some scouring.
Right, right. It's worth a pass. That's a thing that I save cartel my monthly grant of cartel coins. That's a thing that I save cartel coins for is the unlocks. I don't typically buy things off the cartel market. I just try to make extra credits in game and get them off the GTN. So I do need to do a double check. I think as you said, we had an unlock sale not too long ago. What, about a month and a half ago or so? I thought I got most
Yeah,
of
it
everything
wasn't
then.
yeah.
But that's that. So yeah, I'll take a look, check out the same thing. What else we got?
Oh, I was I was looking at the cartel market, which is blank because we're on the PTS.
is that
Um,
like the in-game version of Pinterest?
yes. It's really bad though because it's just there's nothing on it. It's just red letters saying,
Right. Yeah. On the
"Ah, no
Yeah, you're
cartel
right.
market
On the PTS, it's bad. This is what it looks like for anybody that can see the
here."
stream. It's empty, boring.
We also heard from Daniel Steed this week. His plans for articles that he's writing. He's planning uh, well, he already did the Onslaught announcement, but he told us about his works in progress, what the upcoming articles are, and he gave a little background about how they don't always end up the same form that they start out as. Like maybe they maybe it's going to be a straight article. Then as they're working through it, they realize it should be more of an interview or maybe more of a story. So, but he's going to cover things like the new race, which is the Nautilons. Maybe touch on the history of the species, which I think will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's planning to do some kind of info on the changes to advanced classes and the changes to gearing, which they're calling spoils of war. Um, Asking if people would like a deep dive or how they would like that to be, like what kind of shape they would like that to take. I'm sure everybody wants a deep dive because as much
That's a big deal.
info as possible on that. Yeah.
Right.
Um, and then also he's gonna touch on story. That there's a few key figures in the story that I guess they will introduce
Okay.
this method. So yeah.
So they
And then he ended by asking for feedback. Like how would you like to hear this stuff? And basically, I liked it because I'm glad that he's putting it out there. He's enthusiastic, which I love, and yeah, I'm glad he's here.
that's interesting that I can see where they're not going to want to reveal story, but being able to say here's some of the main characters, let's introduce some of the characters. They did that for the Osis lead up. They introduced some of those characters, right? So that I think that is a good sort of compromise from a sort of a story and lore perspective. Yeah, we're not going to reveal the story or plot points. We're not going to spoil anything, but we'll tell you some of the characters and introduce some of that and
Right.
give you a taste of what's coming. That's a good way to do
And
that.
he also mentioned they're going to do like a State of the Galaxy article, which is like kind of view that as a sort of like previously on SWTOR.
Right.
So you can get caught up.
Although this is where, if we were ever going to get our act together and ask to do an interview, is I would pin down Charles, and this state of the galaxy kind of
Yeah.
thing is where I would pin him down and have a nice long chat, because the state of the galaxy is a mess.
It's the Schrodinger's galaxy.
Schrodinger's galaxy. Charles, let's talk about your Schrodinger's galaxy. So, welcome to
Well, now he's
join the
never
show.
going to come.
He's not gonna. But if it's for his own good that he needs to work this out, because I don't. You can't get. There has to be a core path if he ever wants that content to be canon, because it can't be like, well, they can't do
For this
references
person,
back to
it's
this
this.
time period and have like two different. Well, in some people's universe, it was this person. In somebody, there has to be a canon storyline if it's ever going to be
Right.
connected to actual canon.
Right. And I think it's more entertaining too if you have a crafted story rather than like a write your own ending type story.
Right. Yeah. I get the idea that they wanted the choices to matter, and they sort of got pushed further and further by all the community saying, well, they still doesn't matter. It should really matter and make it matter, blah 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 blah. And I almost feel like they pushed themselves into this spot just to get past, stop the whining.
Well, there's plenty of things that could matter that don't have to end up with the empire having two different emperors.
Right. Well, you know what my solution is
Kill them all.
kill yourself. if
Please report for incineration.
Yes, please for consideration. If you if you didn't finish the Raccoon Weekly, well, then you need to delete your character because you're dead. So, if whatever, pick whatever you think the storyline should be, and then if you pick a different choice, like if you killed Arkin, then he's not around to team up with you to save the galaxy at the end and defeat the Emperor. So delete your character because you lost. That's a choice that matters. There, you make your own choice that matters and delete your character. That's where the impact should be. I mean, deleting companions, we're sort of getting with some of these choices. I think, yeah, just delete your character. There. You want to matter? just queue up for PvP, and if you lose, delete your character. That's what you get. All right, what else we
That's
got?
very philosophical, Max.
There.
Okay, what
Then
else
it'll
do we
matter. Then it'll matter. Um, finally, in the news, not all that much, but as Dan posted this article showing here's what we're gonna be talking about. Here's the post that we're gonna put together. I do wish he didn't call it a roadmap, a content roadmap. I got a little bit excited there seeing the word roadmap, but it's not. It's a web content roadmap. Anyway, he did put a couple clarifications, so he's responding to some people that said, "Oh, tell us. Here's some questions we had about what you put." One of the things that I thought would come out sooner, so 5.10.3, which is Dantooine, he said you'll get a release date for 5.10.3 later this month. So not a release later this month, which is actually what I expected. You'll get a release date. So what I think that's saying is it's not even going to be out this month, and maybe it's coming in June or
Yes.
or later. So
Yeah.
I was hoping for that sooner, and then otherwise he's talking a little bit more about the deep dives and how that's going to work, and clarifying a couple things that he put in there. So yeah, keep that conversation going. I like that Dan's in there, teamed up, and Eric's still posting, and everybody's still got the conversation going. I would like to hear from Keith. I
I
would
mean,
like.
technically, when he said later this month, it was still April. But
Um, no, this was posted today. Oh, this is April.
well,
You're
no,
right.
it's
It's 4:30. This was posted today,
yeah.
which is still
But I think he probably meant later in May. You're right, as you
no.
alluded.
You are right, Seema. So I'm still, TikTok. 30 days has September, April. This is it. This is the last day of April. You got by the only time zone that matters. You have 52 minutes left, Dan, to get me a date, to get Seema a date. Otherwise, you're a lying liar who lies. All
You
right.
know how I do that, by the way?
How do you
Like
do
if you make a fist and go over your knuckles, like every knuckle you hit is a month with 31 days. So you go January is on your first knuckle, and then February is between March, April, May, June, July, and then you go back to your first knuckle.
I get confused though
August,
because
September,
the
October,
prison
December.
tattoos I have on my knuckles. So that doesn't work as well for me.
Mine doesn't require me to remember anything though. That's why it works.
So, all right.
April has days and so does December. Okay, that's not right.
So how many months have 28 days? All of them.
12?
Exactly. Ha ha. Dad jokes. Gotcha. All right, what else we got in the news? We got a
But you
little.
didn't get me.
I did not get you. You did say 12. You got me.
You can't just say gotcha when you didn't
I
gotcha
was
me.
pointing at the interwebs, the thousands of
Oh,
people in the audience. Sorry, I mean the 12 people. Uh, in guild news, AIE's Guild Heraldry is live. And I did do a version of it on the PTS here as well, so you can sort of see it here. We did a version. So remember, we have two guilds, one for the Republic side, one for the Imperial side, but this is our Guild Heraldry, which I kind of like. Uh, and our Republic version is the same symbol and coloring for the middle part, but the back. If I think on the production version, I made this silver a little bit darker of us. No, maybe it's the same silver. But it's a blue background for the background of the banner. But then that gives us next to our names in game, you can see the little emblem there. It is the quest giver emblem, but that's the closest we could get to the that corner view of the dice, which is our guild logo. So check it out. We did that as a vote in Discord, and that's what the guild voted for as the version of our guild heraldry. So that's live on both our Republic and Imperial instances.
yay, Guild Heraldry done.
Yep.
Also, Mega this month is going to be 11th. We're going to do a world boss crawl on the pub side.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if we're going to do the OSIS world bosses as part of that. They are world bosses.
We did that on the last one, but
We did it on the last
still,
one.
that wouldn't. But that was on the imp side, so maybe who knows what Marcus has planned?
Who
And we know he's not
knows?
listening right now because he's asleep by now.
Yeah, that's what that reference was in the beginning. We were just in MFN and he commented that he tries to stay up. You know, he was up real early. He tries to stay up for the podcast, and he said he only gets as far as Seema saying, in MFN this week. So after Seema said, "This is what we did in MFN," she said, "Good night, Marcus." That's why she said that, which is hilarious. In community news, check this out. So this is from SWTOR.jedipedia.net/en/news/guild banner designer is a web version of I don't know, that's HTML5, but it's a web version of the guild heraldry designer. So if you want to mess with it here, you can change out the symbol, you can change out the background, you can switch your colors, and you can design a version of your guild heraldry here on the guild banner designer, and share it with your friends before you need to design it in game. Now I did it.
I like
What's that?
I like the surprise me button.
Oh, I
Endlessly
did not.
amusing.
You're right. I did not click that. So this is sort of the version of our guild heraldry, but now let me click the surprise me button and get surprised. Oh, yeah. So it just does a random. I bet you could do some math and figure out how many possibilities. Well, it's probably like more, like a billion possibilities if you include the color combinations. Because it's how many? It's like a million colors. And then if we can put on, anyway, it's many possible combinations if you include the colors. But you got a foreground and background of the center logo, and you got a foreground and background of the background logo, and then the little icon that appears next to your name is the foreground and background of the center logo with the background color as a circle around that appears next to your head and your nameplate above your head in the game. But yeah, so this is pretty cool. I actually did it in game. The problem was there's somebody chatting in general chat on the PTS. There's like 2 people on the whole planet, but somebody's in general chatting it up. But I did it in game. It costs $1 million, $1 million, a million buckaroos.
That guy in general really threw you off.
Yeah, now I'm all distracted. We only take credits here. Republic credit. No, we don't take Republic credits. So I didn't apply it to our guild. I just made it and took some screenshots and posted that in Discord, and that's how we did it. But yeah, it's nice to have that little Jedipedia banner experimenter tool. Good job. Thank you, guys. I think this is actually a German team that puts this Jedipedia.net site together, because when I go to contact us, all of the words are German speak. So that's why I think it's German. Cool. And of course,
I think you're onto something.
and of course, Seema says,
Thank you to the chat room. Thank you guys for showing up and helping us out and telling us jokes while we're talking. I always appreciate that.
yes,
You guys are the best.
keeping us amused, keeping us educated, dropping hints and tips into the chat room to make us seem like we're smarter than we actually are. So thank you for that.
Like comparing eating pasta and antipasto in the same meal to matter and antimatter. I mean, like where else would you see that?
Did you annihilate your dinner in your belly?
Yes, he did.
Apparently he did. All right, let's look a little bit into the future here on the PTS and see what we got.
It is the future you see.
Yes, thank you, Yoda.
Difficult to see. Always in motion is the future.
That's what I meant to play. It's a little bit longer. Anyway, Yoda is always useful in telling us all about the future. This is a look into the future a little bit. We had this planned. We're gonna do the walkthrough. We're gonna take a look at just a preview and see what we can see on Dantooine. Tell you a couple of the secrets, but there's still gonna be a more full walkthrough before it gets released because Dan is just told us today late that he's putting this article together, which is gonna go through what the event is. So we can still see what all of the missions are, and we'll show you some of those. We'll show you what the layout of the planet looks like, and this is the view of the planet. Remember, that is the view during the event. So while the event is live, so this is going to be an event like the other events in the game, like Bounty Contract Week. So during Bounty Contract Week, you can go to the different planets so you can hunt the bounties. During Dantooine event week or whatever, you're going to be able to come here and do these missions as part of the Dantooine event. When the Dantooine event isn't going on, then when we go out and we take a look at like all the pirates that are out there fighting around and all of these missions that we have to do, this stuff, most of this stuff won't be here. Maybe not, maybe there'll still be a few things, but they said very directly as part of the talk at the Cantina event that it'll mostly be just like a really peaceful pastoral planet that you can just come visit. I'm looking forward to that. I like that idea. I like that aspect. But I also like the idea that we're going to have another rotating event that's going to be thrown in the rotation and going to be a thing we can come back and check out. So here we are in the Imperial base, and I've only looked at the Imperial side, but in the Imperial base, there's a mission board, and there's 3 other mission quest givers here. Let's talk to this first one, this Lieutenant Marku. They specifically also said that the major cutscenes, which are going to really tell the story, aren't in the game yet. But you do get some of the dialogue from like the lieutenant here and this other, what is this, underworld trader. You do get some of their dialogue, so let's take a quick look. What is Lieutenant Marku, who is a Rhodian, so I'll read you the dialogue as we go, which I know you'll enjoy, me reading the dialogue out loud.
Intelligence has reported that the
Oh, this isn't the Rhodian. Go to the
I
Rhodian.
was gonna say.
That's not the Rhodian. This is the Rhodian. Did you holo call? You're like 2 steps away,
Yes.
and you holo called into the conversation. Yeah, it's funny. When I used to play with my daughter, who's now 20, she's like days away from being 21. She would. So I'd click on the quest giver, the circle comes up. She would take 3 steps back and then out of the circle and then holo call in. She's like, oh wait, step out, just so she could holo call in every time. Fine, start conversation. Listen close. Found one of your people at a Nova Blade slave auction taken from here on Dantooine. Got her out, but she didn't make it. Came here with her last request. Save the others. Gave a location. Caves. To the east. Simple base. Last part was a little strange. Beware of Hugo. So this is the mission, Beware of Hugo. Okay, so here's one of our first missions. I didn't catch all of it.
I have to admit that when I first saw this dialogue and she says one of your own, I thought for a second, even though I knew it wasn't true, that it was going to be like one of my companions.
Oh, and that they'd actually yank your companion away and you'd have to...
No, one of the ones I haven't gotten back yet. But it makes no
Oh.
sense.
That would have been nice.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But yes.
What if they did a thing where they take your companion away and you have to get there and fight through the mission with no companion until you go and get your companion back? Didn't you have to do that at some point in the story?
Yeah.
When was that?
I didn't like it. Well, on my Sage, it was Lieutenant Areso and Corellia.
Yeah, right. You got one of your it was only one of your. You could pull out another companion, but you got like your main companion yanked away. You're
Yeah.
right. I think that on the Merc, I think you get Mako yanked away, and for a lot of people, that was the one they sort of put a bunch of influence into, and and geared out. That was back when we had to put gear on our companions too.
Yeah.
So then you might have
You
had to
know,
pull out a companion that had no gear. Oh, that's
I
interesting.
thought you were gonna say, what if they yanked your companions away and then years went by and you still didn't have them all back in?
Yeah, what if that happened? That would be a really unique aspect of the game, wouldn't it? That would be a choice that mattered. So Charles is making choices that mattered.
As he should.
So there's that.
As he should.
As he should. So what does she say? She says, "Yeah, these pirates are doing bad things. They're slavers, snagging people. We got to go track them down. Go check out these caves to the east. It's a simple base with few guards. Move silent, strike fast, save the ones you can." And the last part was a little strange. Beware of Hugo. All right, so that's quest number 1. Mission number 1 you get from the Rhodian is beware of Hugo. She's the underworld trader.
I think those are just words to live by. Beware of Hugo.
Yeah, just in general. Yeah, all Hugos everywhere. Now let's talk to Lieutenant Marku, who is a Chiss. And what does Lieutenant Marku have to say?
Reported that the Nova Blade stole a prototype assault walker from a weapon testing facility on Balmora. Given the pirates' lack of experience with such highly tuned devices, my superiors are concerned this walker might fall into the Republic's eager hands. If you have time to assist in this matter, I am certain that Darth Zarion himself would be most grateful.
Okay, the camera angle was a little bit off in that cutscene. Did you see that?
Yes. She's tiny.
Barely see her head over my shoulder. It's still on the screen. She's like, hello? Can you see me? Anyway, this is a heroic 2. This one from her. And I believe it's instanced, so we'll go check that one out in a second, but you're going after Imperial Walker. And this third one off of this holo terminal, I believe, is a heroic 4. So let me grab this one. You're gonna holo call into this. No, you have an X. Can you not get this? Why can you not get?
I probably
you
still have it
probably
in my
it.
quest log. Yeah.
All right, I will get it.
Is it on?
Oh, this is hilarious.
Attention,
Listen.
Dantooine. If you are hearing this, then I, Yarvok of the Nova Blades, have seized control of the Dantooine power station. Please do not panic or contact the military. This is a simple business transaction. For the low price
Yeah,
of
don't
just 10...
don't contact the military.
No, that is not what you said. Okay, fine. You can edit this part out, yes? Now then, I, Yarvok of the Nova Blades, will return your reactor unharmed for the unbelievably low price of just 15 million credits. If you attempt to use force, or do not pay, then blah blah blah, yada yada yada. We all know how this works. Lots of fire and screaming. Remember, there is absolutely no need for violence. You do not want to be shot. Yarvok does not want to waste ammunition. So please, just pay.
So this, I don't know if you caught that in the middle. I cracked up. I lolled out loud.
He did.
This was really good. So in the middle, he's like, so it starts out. He's like, is this on? Oh, yeah. Hey, attention, Dantooine. If you're hearing this, then I Yarva, and it goes into his thing. And then in the middle, he's like, what? What? Not 10? What, you said. Okay, fine. Just you're gonna edit this out, right? And then he goes back into his spiel.
This is how we do the podcast. You're gonna edit this out, right? Max is like, sure.
This is the that cracked me up. I liked that one. Yeah.
Plus, I like this little holo terminal because it's on like legs with like little feet. It's like a
You're
Baba
right.
Yaga
What is
holo terminal.
You're right. It is. It's a little Baba Yaga holo terminal. I want to see it walking around with those 3 little legs.
Yeah.
But was this one the heroic 4? Yeah. No. Beware of Hugo is the heroic 4. No,
Yes.
this is another heroic
Right.
4. Reactor Ransom is another heroic 4. So there's heroic 2s, there's heroic 4s, and then you go to, so those are the 3 that you get off the board, and then there's also a mission board with a weekly, which is to complete 12 missions and 6 heroics. So I thought this was interesting. It's 12 regular missions and 6 heroics. So we just got 3 heroics from these people, and there's no other heroics to get. And there's 6 missions on this board. Actually 7. Oh no, there's 6 missions on the board. And then there's a daily to complete 6 missions. And then the weekly is to complete 12 missions and 6 heroics, which means you have to come here twice. And it's this for so far what I've seen, and they could change it, but so far what I've seen, and I've come multiple days, there's only 6 missions and 3 heroics. So you basically have to come and do all 6 of those and all 3 heroics twice. So that's 2 heroic 4s that you have to do twice to complete the weekly. So it's a thing. So
It is a thing. I mean, it's interesting because like I don't do the heroics on Osis because
right, neither do
I
I.
don't feel like it.
The only reason there was to do the heroics was to do
It
the
was rep.
to get the rep. So as soon as you got the rep done, I stopped doing them. Yeah, so if they were part of the weekly, which now they will be part of the weekly here, and you want to do it because you want to get these surveyor's notes rewards as what you get from the weekly, because that's the currency that you then take over here to the no, where's the vendor? Oh, over here to the rep vendor. And those surveyors notes are the tokens that you turn into the rep vendor for the rewards. And the rewards are so far just all a bunch of decos, but some cool decos. There was one deco on here, so it's a little hard to see. I should make this bigger, but there's like a crop harvester that's a big tractor, which is alive. There's just a bunch of like
It's alive.
scenery. There's the stone walls. There's the damaged stone walls. You see this scenery out there. There's the large and small trees. The large trees are really iconic, and they're sort of part of the Dantooine landscape. There's one extra. So here's my first potential secret for Dantooine, which I could not find or track down, but the last deco on the list is called Weak Dantooine Stone Wall. And when you look at it, the deco is a stone wall with like a colto barrel next to it.
Yeah. I wonder. Ooh.
I wonder a couple things. One, I wonder if it's just an interesting decoration where it does something when you click on that barrel and it blows up the wall. 2, what I also wondered, and I scoured the planet, I was trying to find this out in the world. What I was hoping was that this existed somewhere on the planet, and maybe it still does, and I just didn't find it. But there was somewhere where you could do some special thing where you clicked on the barrel and it opened up the wall and you could get in and like get an extra achievement or get into some area that you can only get to by clicking on the barrel. I didn't find it. If someone else finds it, that's potentially a secret. So that's.
I'm pretty sure now that you say that, I'm pretty sure it's out there. I think you should look some more.
I looked quite a lot, so I did not find it. So here, let's take a quick look. Let's pick up the rest of it. I'm going to pick up all of these missions, the daily and the weekly, and we'll take a little waltz around the planet, show you where the missions are. We don't have to do all the missions. But 2 things that were interesting. We did find 2 secrets that maybe we can show you here, which I thought were awesome. And one of them.
That means they involve somebody dying or jumping off of something and then dying.
Well, yeah, but both of them involved me dying, in a good way. But then we'll also show you where a bunch of. So here's the map. You can see where a bunch of these missions are. Right now, it is in the Imperial base. The quick travel point is broken, which is a little bit annoying because you can't get back there. It won't be broken. There's we just left, but in there on the right, there's the quick travel terminal. Even clicking on it doesn't activate the quick travel point, so that's broken. They need to fix that. However, you can see it's just the whole zone is just filled with all of these missions that you need to do. So remember, we've got the 3 heroics and the 6 missions. That's what's represented. Those 9 things are what's currently represented on the map. A couple of them are instance. We'll show you where those are. And then there are a couple hidden things here too. So let's talk a little bit of a waltz around. And as you walk around, it's mostly these Nova Blade pirates that are the scenery, the mobs that we are all chasing after and fighting as part of the missions on this planet. Where is the first? You know what I'm looking for? The well.
Yeah.
The
Oh no, I thought you were looking for the parrot.
we will also look for the parrot, but I think closer in. I think the first thing you get to is the well. So it is. Oh, new codex entry, Dantooine agriculture. Oh, you know, Zen is offline because he's involved in a bunch of work stuff and potentially changing locations. So in honor of Zen, who will be offline for a couple weeks, I will now read just this one codex entry. And I will read it in Sean Connery's voice. Dantooine agriculture. Dantooine is a pastoral planet inhabited by resilient farmers. For much of their history, they focused primarily on sustenance. This is terrible. This is terrible impression.
No,
Anyway.
it's fantastic. Keep going.
Carting what little excess they produced to the planet's few mercantile centers on the rare occasion off-world traders arrived. Staple crops included Kibla greens and yacht beans. Whatever. Though the Republic has been pushing for the cultivation of faster cycle, non-native species to support increasing supply needs, the planet, once deemed beneath notice by both sides of the conflict, now serves as an integral link into the Republic's supply chain. Yeah, so if you remember, this planet, once deemed beneath notice by both sides of the conflict, in this time period, was also deemed beneath notice when Princess Leia in the future tries to throw this planet under the bus and tries to get it blown up. Because they get the Death Star parked in front of Alderaan, and Grand Moff Tarkin says, "Hey, Princess, where's the rebel base?" And she says, "Oh, I'm not going to tell you." And he says, "Well, fine, I'm going to blow up Alderaan." And she's, "Fine, Dantooine. Just blow up Dantooine." Wow, Princess. Real nice. It wasn't like an uninhabited place. She just throws the whole planet under the bus. And luckily for Dantooine, Tarkin says, that's like too far away to make a good example. I'm going to blow up Alderaan anyway. Ha ha. And he also still checks out Dantooine just to make sure the rebel base wasn't on Dantooine. When he finds it isn't, he then says, "Execute her," and sentences her to execution. Anyway, so apparently multiple times this planet has been deemed.
And then what happens, Max?
Execution. That was story time for Max. Because I need to break off from story time, because the other thing I want to point out here, which I am very fascinated by, is if you look up high, there is a monorail track. And you can't get up there. You can't get up on that monorail track easily. But I believe, and this is something I need more people for. I think there's a way to get up on that monorail track if you use tricks. If you use Max the Gray's tricks of getting up in high places, I think there's a way to do it. So I'm gonna save that for a future experiment. But I need a guardian and a sage, or a warrior and a couple sorks to help me do it.
You need a row of sages.
Yeah, we need a few people, because it won't work with just one. I need a. Actually, yeah, if we get a whole bunch of sages, we might be able to do it with just about 3 or 4 sages. But we'll have to all group up and try to make that happen. I'll show you how to do that in the future once I figure it out. Anyway, so look here, we got these glowing things, but yeah, let's find where's the Where's the well? There's a well around here is the first thing you get to. Oh, wait. But before we get to the well, let's go down in this valley, which is one of the first instance areas. We're going to aggro these dudes, though. Okay, I think let's just kill these. A welder? I'm killing a welder? There's 2 welders. Apparently, the welders need to die.
Someone clean up this mess.
Oh, I got an achievement. Shiver their timbers. I defeated 50. Apparently, I was here on the PTS quite a bit
You've been
earlier.
busy.
I've been shooting pirates. Timber. So here's the first instance area. This is where you go after. I think this is the one for the walker.
Sign of the walker. Strange. Perhaps you could persuade one of their officers to enlighten us.
She's got quite the voice, doesn't she? Did you hear her?
Yes, I
No
did.
sign of the walker. Strange. Yeah, that is. So I think you need to punch these guys in the face until they give up the location of the walker, and that's what you're doing in this area, which is cool. Are you shooting more pirates? You're trying to get the achievement?
No, I got the achievement already. I'm just trying to get inside there with you, but I keep aggroing.
Aggroing them? Aggroing? Where is the well? Because the well is kind of hilarious. Oh, here it is. All right, let's clear out these pirates, and then we'll take a quick look at the well. Oh, boy, I blew that grunt up. You know, I did notice, so here we're fighting these guys. Well, now they don't
There, I
seem-
got in finally. Oops.
Did they tune these? No, see I meant to look at their health and compare them in general. They seem a little bit tougher than average mobs on... You know how Iocath was a little... You know, when we got to Iocath, same level mobs, it's still level 70 mobs, but they seem a little bit stronger. These pirates on Dantooine seem a little bit stronger than regular level 70 mobs also. Anyways, look, so there's a hole in the ground. So what do you think?
Oh.
What do you think we did first time we came upon this hole in the ground?
If you had to guess, what would your guess be?
If your friend jumps in a hole in the ground, would you jump in? Yes. Jump in the hole. You jump in the hole and you get an achievement. I forgot what the achievement is. Let me open it and look for the achievement. I call the medical probe here. Because now I already have it. It didn't pop up again. Where's achievements? Chapters. What button do I press to bring up my achievements? Why can I not find them? Anyway, you get a hilarious achievement by that explains why you're an idiot for jumping in a well, pretty much. Pretty much. That's pretty much the gist of it. Okay, so that's secret number 1. Actually, I'll give you 3 secrets. So, Seema, I will show you a secret which you have not seen yet.
Okay.
Secret number 2. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
My bad.
My
You
bad.
just shot me in the face. My bad. Follow me. Follow me. Don't aggro these guys.
Aggro. Let go my aggro.
Can I offer you an egg in these trying times? That's an Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference. Where is it? Oh, it's over by this industrial factory area. One of the things you will not find on the planet yet, and this came up in the canteen, I think we mentioned it last week, is you will not find the Jedi Enclave. So if you remember any of KOTOR, and this is Star Wars Legends, so here, you look on Wikipedia and you look up Dantooine, If you go into the Legends tab, so this is non-canon stuff because it hasn't come up in any of the movies yet or in the animated series, the Clone Wars, or anything. The Jedi Enclave is part of the Knights of the Old Republic story. So there's stuff that that Revan did here. There was battles here. I think Darth Malak destroys the Jedi Enclave at some point. So the Jedi Enclave though is not yet in the game. Charles put a note out that said, "We might do something around the Jedi Enclave. What would you like us to do?" So that conversation is still going on. But here, come down in here, Seema. This is another secret area. You can unlock a quick travel point here called the Scout Camp. Where? Oh, thank you, chat room. Press Y for achievements. Achievements. Not operations.
It's called Well, That Was Unexpected. I linked it.
Oh.
Oh, in general.
Oh, you linked it in general? I don't have my general tab up anymore. Thank you. The mystery is solved. The well contains water and the bodies of those who sought to solve the mystery of what was in the well. That is the text of the achievement.
A lot of bodies.
And those bodies now include multiple versions of mine. So yeah, I don't know what this is down here, Seema, but this is a scout camp, and this is the quick travel point that you can unlock, and this you can quick travel back to here if you need to.
Oh, awesome.
Which that was a secret that you didn't know that I found when I was looking for the weak wall or whatever it's called. And then one more secret that we'll show you while we're out here. Although here you can see these giant trees. I wonder how big the tree deco is that you'll be able to put in your stronghold.
Yeah.
This is.
But you're right. That is a remarkable looking tree, signature tree.
Yeah. So I hope it's like this giant version of the tree. This one over here, because these are pretty cool looking. So a couple things that I like here. I like the trees. I think I mentioned this last week. We've been on here before, but I like looking up in the sky, and you can see there's ships up in the sky, and then there's little fighter battles going on around the big capital ships that are up in the sky. You can watch them flying around and shooting each other and exploding, flying in formation. Look, there's 5 of them flying in formation and little explosions. So that is cool. I like these big windmills. But here is an island, and on this island is secret number 3. So on this island, before I get too close, if you look there, there's an NPC, and it's green. Its name is Polly. And when you come up close to the island, this is Polly's island. And Polly doesn't like you being on the island. So look at what happens.
Polly, why you do this to me? He came on the island first.
I did. But Polly is now is paying attention to you, and you see this, you got this little laser connection, and Polly is, what does it say? What does the debuff say? Well, I'll see it on my screen and just wait, I can see it on you.
It says little red dot. This definitely isn't suspicious.
9. You got a stack of 9. Now you got a stack of 10. Whoa. I went flying too. I mean, you really exploded there. I went flying like 30 meters away. So here, if you spend too much time on Polly's island, Polly does this little laser, and then Polly one-shots you, and then you get another achievement. So let's link this achievement while I wait here to explode. This achievement is called the Polly Exclusion Principle, which is hilarious. General, is that under general achievements? No. Pirate incursion. General daily bosses. Miscellaneous. Yes. The Polly exclusion principle. It turns out that Polly does not enjoy the company of others, which is, of course, a reference to the Pauli exclusion principle, which has to do with fermions and the state of a fermion, which electrons are fermions. named for what's his name, Pauli, the physicist. What's his name? Wolfgang Pauli. Wolfgang. But they can't have the same quantum number. That means you can't know the charge and the spin. That's part of the reason that when you studied atomic structure in chemistry class, there's a certain number of electrons that can appear in each electron shell. Those shells and which electrons can appear in those shells, and how many the maximum is that can be in each one of those shells, that has to do with the Pauli exclusion principle. That's all part of it. But I thought that was hilarious also, and I laughed. I lolled out loud when that happened as well, to me, because Pauli is quite violent. Yes, chat room is wondering if Pauli is related to Pearl. Way to go, Pearl! It's on. That's what Koratani says in Ravagers. I'm gonna cut your nose right off your face. That's also what Koratani says. She is quite a potty mouthed pirate there. She says things like, "You're a jerky jerk," which made me cry. But that's pretty much it. So we don't, you can try out these dailies. You can come here on PTS. There still will be a little bit more story wrapped around with some cutscenes.
Yes.
The rest,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
The rest of the dailies and missions seem pretty straightforward. And as I said, to get the weekly done, you have to do the heroics, 2 heroic 4s and a heroic 2. You have to do all of those twice. So you have to come 2 days and do all 3 of those heroics, both days. And you have to come 2 different days and do all 6 of the regular missions twice. They could add more. I don't think they're going to add more. If you look, we're pretty much filled up the map with missions all over here. So I think that's where we're at. So that is a view of Dantooine. Anything else you want to add at this point, Seema? I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Well, I just think it looks like you could probably come out of the area where we got the quest, the base, and just work your way through the whole zone. And when you get to the far end, you will have finished all the quests.
Yeah,
it's
pretty straightforward. It's not a huge area. I think it's a good amount of space, a good amount of area. I don't think it's enormous, but it's a solid. It's
kind of like Black Hole or I think Black Hole.
Or Section X. I think it's closer to Section X. Yeah. Section X, if you leave off the part where the extra bonus area where the HK droid mission starts, that extra heroic area in Section X, I think it's about the same size as Section X, I would say. Maybe a little bit smaller than Section X. Because if you think there's that prison area in the back and where the Aurora Cannon is.
Yeah.
That's pretty extensive. But still, I like it. So cool. All right. So
one thing I've learned from OSIS is, and I think maybe the community has learned, is I feel like once we get over here, we're going to be much more open to grouping for the heroics and grouping for different things there'll be, because people are just used to it more so now than they used to be, or at least I am.
It will also be a shorter amount of time
because
this is not going to be up all the time. So when it is up for the weeks that it is up, because it's an event, I think more people will want to be doing it. It'll be at a more consolidated, concise range of time. People are going to want to get those done. They're going to want to group up. People are going to be shouting out in general, "Hey, who wants to group up for blah 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 blah."
Right, and it's going to be so much easier than grouping up for the world bosses on OSIS, which we've all, more or less embraced.
That is one thing, though, that I did notice the lack of in this area, which is there's no world boss, and no, that I've found so far at least, no holocrons holocrons, datacrons.
Well, maybe when Dan publishes his write above the area, maybe we'll learn some stuff that we haven't seen yet.
And maybe they could add a world boss. Maybe in this open lake here over by the big industrial dam wall, that could be an interesting place to dump a world boss. And maybe there is some more secrets that we haven't found, like maybe that damageable wall that I was speculating on exists somewhere, and there's a holocron behind it. I don't know. So we'll have to check it out when it goes live. So maybe we'll do a redo of at least the parts of this that we got wrong when we see the write up from Dan, and then when it goes into live, we'll invite everyone over to Starforge to join us on an MFN where we will all come and visit. So there's that.
Yes.
But I think we are done with it for now. I like this place. I'm going to be happy to come back. But for now, we are done with the PTS. So with that, we will kick this Astromech 290 out an airlock to broadcast this podcast to all of you. Please keep up with us on Twitter at Max the Gray and at AIESEMA. And if you know any cool people that should be playing with us, tell them to come check us out. They can find our podcast at YouTube/New Overlords or newoverlords.com. You can find our guild at aie-guild.org. On there, you can also get a link to our Discord. You can jump in Discord or jump into Starforge. Come track us down, and we will get you a guild invite. That's why we're doing this. We would love to have more cool people in the guild playing this stuff with us, grouping up with us in this heroic fours and killing the walker or whatever we're gonna end up doing here, getting mostly just jumping down wells. that's what we're gonna do. So come join us and jump down holes in the ground. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.